Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this card making project. In this project we're going to make a gorgeous card using our Anna Griffin goodies. We're also going to use a couple of die sets as well. The first one that we're going to use is the mini French fan dies. We're going to be using this die of the fan, and we're also going to be using the shadow die from that collection. We're also going to use the all heart dies. This is set 1. And we're going to use the large heart for something on our card. Now everything I do use I shall put in a detailed list on my blog, so please be sure to check it out, because there's all the items on there and there's also extra pictures as well. So I'll take the photos of the insides as well as the outsides, so then that gives you a good reminder. So please be sure to check it out. Now don't forget, we're coming up to our 500th episode and it would be great if you could watch. So look out for that coming up next week. Okay, let's make a card. So I've taken a 7x5 card. I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm simply going to run it along the edge to make sure we've got a nice sharp crease. Now the size of the card that we're using on our cardometer is a 7x5 card. So the largest size on the cardometer is the A4. Just turn that round. Now the A4 turns into the A5 folded in half, and the next size down is the 7x5, and that gives you a good idea at home of the size of the card that I'm using. So let's make the inside first. So what we're going to do is we're going to want some base cardstock. Now for any of you that don't like covering patterns up, this card might not be for you, because I know this is giving you a little bit of a sneak insider that for the 500th episode I've had some great messages, and there's a couple of them saying that you always curl up inside when I cover over the patterns, and sometimes the patterns are just too good to cover. Now I'm happy to report that in this instant this is actually scrap. So because I have a scrap box, and I'm sure you do, and sometimes those pieces of scrap are quite big. So I took this out and I thought I'm going to use that. And there's some on the front as well, and it was quite a strange shape, but I cut it down to the inside measurement of the card, less a quarter of an inch. And then I can use that as my base cardstock, because it'll show just a little bit of pattern through, and that's what I'm looking for. So we'll add this. Now this is from the Lila collection from Anna Griffin. So that's my piece of cardstock on the base. Now next, what I've done is I've used a different die for this. Now this is from the tassel die set, and it's the large base, or the frame you might want to call it. And what I've done is I've die cut it in Anna's metallic lilac cardstock from the 7x5 metallic layers. I've die cut it, I've not embossed it, and then using the shadow die from the fan collection, from the mini French fans, I've die cut 2 shapes out of either side. And that is going to be our next layer for the inside of our card. We're going quite ornate for the inside today. So I've got some tape on the back that I'm just going to peel away. And I'm going to position this over our pattern paper. And this is where you're all screaming, oh, you're covering it up. But it was scrap, and sometimes you just have to. So pop that down, and so we've got 2 apertures at either side. Now what I've done for the mini French fan dies, I've die cut a shadow layer, and then I've die cut the ornate layer. I've glued them both together already just to save us time, that's all. And I'm going to simply peel off the flat tape I've got on the back of them, and I'm going to slot them into the 2 apertures that we've die cut. I've got a second one for the other side, and that will pop in the same into the aperture, like so. Looks pretty already. And then I've got a piece of the lilac metallic cardstock again. I've stamped it using one of the stamps from the Sentiment Stamps and Die set, and it just says Bravo. And in fact, I forgot to say, this is a card for a well done. So maybe somebody's graduating, maybe somebody's done something, they've taken a test, maybe taken the driving test, something like that, and you just want to say, well done, you know, you've done this, you've done a good job. This is an ideal card for that. So I've stamped the words Bravo, top and bottom, just on a piece of card. So that could be a piece of scrap as well. And I've got flat tape on the back, and I'm just going to take it through the centre of our card. So then we've got somewhere to write our little message and just say to, from, etc. And I can press that down, and that is the inside of our card finished. And so pretty, lots of detail, it will still fold flat. So we're just going to make sure we've still got that sharp crease on the edge. And now we can build the front of the card. So the base layer for the front of the card is from the Anna Griffin Spring Plaid collection. And in the collection you got the 12x12 cardstock, and you also got the 7x5 cardstock. So this is just a piece of the 7x5 cardstock, and I'm going to cover the entire card front with this cardstock to make it look as though the card is actually the plaid, like that. My next layer is the full frame from the tassel die set, and I've got flat tape on the back of this. I've just taken the tape around the edge, just in 4 places on the edge and then in the centre, and I'm going to pop that over our spring plaid so we can still see the pattern around the edge. Press that down, and then we can build our layers. Next, I've taken the mini French fans again, and I've die cut 3 of them with the shadow layers, and on the back I've got flat tape at the edge and 3D foam along the ornate edge, if that makes sense. So I've done them 3 times. Now I'm simply just going to position them on the card. I'm not going to press them down because I want to make sure I've got them in the right place. And I'm going to go with the 2 side ones first, and then the top one. There we go. And I keep checking that I'm in view, because if I go out of view, I've got my camera set up slightly differently, so I'm sat in a slightly different position. So you'll have to forgive me for the next couple of videos, just in case I go off here. I'm used to reaching further. So, but now I've got no tripod, and it's a little bit strange. It's great though. It's great for you and great for me. It's just getting used to it. Next, I've cut out a heart. Now, I've taken the heart die, the large heart die from the All Heart die collection, and I've turned it round and I drew around the edge. Now, I know the edge is quite fancy, so I drew around it in a pencil, and then I just took the scissors, not around the fanciness, but just to give it a smooth edge rather than going with the fancy edge. Now, maybe you've got a heart die that you would be happier doing that with, but I wanted a shadow layer for the ornate die that the ornate heart that we're going to use. So we can now add our heart to the centre of the card. Now, this I think is showing that you can use your all heart dies, not just for Valentine's Day. So I think they're positioned quite well now, so I can press those down because I wanted them on the outsides of the heart. Next, we can add our ornate heart. I've got that on 3D foam, so it's just going to stand proud on top of the base layer, like that. Now we can add our sentiment, and this is from the mini flower and sentiment sticker collection, and it just says well done. So I'm going to add that towards the top of the heart, just over the little pointy bit. And I've taken 2 gorgeous lilac tulips from the same collection, and I'm going to add these just to the side of the actual sentiment, like so. And I'm going to finish off with just a large green bow, because I do think lilac and green go well. They go as well as pink and green sometimes. And that is our card finished. Now that is such a great card to say well done to somebody. The inside matches so well to the outside, stands up perfectly. It will fit in a normal envelope. You have got a few layers there, just to, you know, you might need a little bit of padding, but I think that is just such a great combination of the fans and the hearts, showing that you can, like we've just said, use your hearts not just for Valentine's Day. So, and it doesn't stand out too much as a heart, but you can tell it's there, if that makes sense. And just a beautiful card. And think of the different colourways you could use. And if you're thinking of using your scrap, you could maybe use your scrap for your shadow layers for under the fans. That would work. I do hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope it's given you an idea of how you can use your supplies that you have. And maybe you want to use different dies or different fans, then it would just work as well. So, and I hope it's given you an idea of just making something for a well done. You could change your sentiment to a thank you, thinking of you, etc. Whatever you feel happy with and whatever you need to use. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me the thumbs up. Please share, and please join me for our next one. So I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.